Thank you for logging in. This is part of a series of supplemental, self-guided presentations that you can view at your leisure to get more information about topics of interest to you. My name is Josh Dadolf, and I am a clinical social worker and caregiver support coordinator at the Durham VA Medical Center. In this presentation, I'm going to talk to you today about steps you can take towards improving your sleep. The objectives for today's presentation include identifying behaviors that lead to sleep problems, discussing new, healthier behaviors that will help improve your sleep, and identifying areas that may affect your sleep in a positive way. As a caregiver, it's easy to fall into a pattern of sacrificing your own sleep for the needs of your veteran loved one. However, over time, this pattern can cause disrupted sleep and overall sleep deprivation. Not getting enough sleep, or not getting enough good, quality sleep, can have unintended and harmful consequences that can begin to affect you and those around you. Lack of sleep can make you less alert or attentive. It can impair your memory and concentration. It can cause irritability and exacerbate depressive symptoms. Too little sleep has also been linked to car accidents, obesity, diabetes, heart problems, and mental health concerns. The good news is that there are some steps you can take to improve your sleep. Through today's presentation, I hope we can begin to identify behaviors that lead to sleep problems and begin to develop new, healthier behaviors that will help improve your sleep. Although it's important to remember that there are no guarantees and no one-size-fits-all approach, I hope to help you identify some areas that may affect your sleep in a positive way. As caregivers, there are many potential barriers and obstacles to getting good sleep. You don't always get to say when you'll go to bed or when you wake up. However, many caregivers have reported trouble falling asleep or staying asleep, even when their sleep is not disrupted by their caregiving role. For this presentation, we're going to be talking about sleep challenges, independent of another person disrupting your sleep. So let's take a few minutes to find a little information out about your sleep. Go ahead and grab a piece of paper and a pen. I'd like you to write a few things down, and maybe even take some notes. On average, what time do you go to bed each night? On average, what time do you wake up in the morning? On average, how many hours of undisturbed sleep do you get each night? Consider disturbed sleep as sleep that is restless or disrupted, but not because somebody, like a child or your veteran, woke or disturbed you. Do you have trouble falling asleep, staying asleep, or both? Oftentimes, we treat sleep like it's a given, a natural thing that just occurs at the end of the day. Maybe at some point in time this was true for you. Maybe sleep has always been a bit of a challenge. Regardless, when you are encountering problems, it's always good to go back to the basics. It's kind of like hitting the reset button in an effort to gently guide your body and mind back into healthy, restful sleep. Some of the things I'm going to talk about today may seem quite obvious or fundamental. However, these are the things that we are also most likely to take for granted and then overlook when seeking a solution to our sleep problems. So let's get back to basics. With how hectic life has become, so few of us are able to create a predictable nighttime sleep routine. Maybe it's because it is the only quiet time in the house that you have to get things done. Perhaps it's because your veteran loved one is in the habit of staying up later. Good, healthy, restorative sleep is important for your veteran as well. So take some time, sit down and talk about your sleep and how important it is to you to get a good night's sleep. Again, we are naturally creatures of habit. Following a regular routine during the day can help to regulate your internal clock. In order to implement a healthy pattern, it is going to take a little time to get into a routine. Within reason, try to start heading for bed around the same time each day. I know it's tempting to try and get a few things done or to read just one more chapter, but gently encourage yourself to engage in a nighttime routine around the same time every night. Just as important as a waking routine is, a nighttime one is equally, if not more so. During this routine, you're going to be preparing your body for sleep. In essence, getting it ready to shut down. Changing your clothes, brushing your teeth, maybe a glass of warm milk are all cues that you're winding down. It's just like a morning routine. Try not to let this time vary too much. Avoid extra TV or screen time. This includes phones and tablets. TV or the internet can be mentally or emotionally activating, which disrupts the body and mind from getting into sleep mode. Even though we're talking about your nighttime routine, remember that getting out and into the natural daylight and getting some light exercise during the day will get the heart rate up and get your blood flowing. It will get clean, fresh oxygen into your lungs. It is an important part of retraining your body and mind to be up during the day and asleep at night. It will also help you expend energy that can sometimes interfere with settling down later on. Exercise is great for you, but be mindful to refrain from exercise for at least 2 hours before bed. Many of us forget that the bed was designed for one of two things: sleeping or snuggling. However, with life getting busier and time moving so quickly, we often treat our beds and our bedtimes as opportunities to binge watch a program, surf on the internet, talk on the phone, eat, pay the bills, even reading. First step towards improving your sleep is to reserve the bed for one of those two things: sleeping or snuggling. That's it. You want to retrain your body and mind that the bed is for sleeping. You want to transform your bedroom back into a space that's designed for sleeping. Low stimulation, cool and dark, quiet, or white noise if you prefer, are the elements of a sleeping atmosphere that the experts say your bedroom should have. However, you should make the space comfortable and relaxing for you based on your individual preferences. Although many of us find it relaxing to watch a little TV, surf the internet, or read when they're winding down for the day, resist the urge to do it in your bed. Watch TV or read in the other room. Set a time limit, or until you feel sleepy, and then transfer to the bedroom. Don't pay bills or do paperwork in bed or at bedtime. This can get your mind revved up, and it will be harder to wind down. As well, don't watch the news or read anything too provocative. Stick to calm and even boring topics at bedtime. It's also important to keep tablets and phones out of the bed and the bedroom. The light from these devices can confuse your brain and make it difficult to shut down. I know it sounds odd to be talking about your morning routine when we're talking about problems falling or staying asleep, but getting into a habit or routine around your sleep, all of your sleep, is important. We are naturally creatures of habit, but again, following regular routines during the day can help regulate your internal clock. In order to implement a healthy pattern, it's going to take a little time to get into a routine. So within reason, try to get up around the same time each day. I know it is tempting to want to sleep in on the days when you just don't have to get up and get going, but this can actually end up disrupting your sleep pattern at night. Try not to let this time vary by more than an hour or so. For example, if you have to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning during the week, try not to sleep much past 7 on the weekends. Then, get out of bed, make your bed, shower, and dress. This is important to get your body into the routine of getting up and starting your day. Again, it will help with your nightly routine. And see the light. Getting natural light each day helps regulate your internal clock so that you feel awake during the brightness of the day and sleepy during the darkness of night. Even when you don't have plans to get out of the house that day, stand outside for a few moments. Put your face towards the light, even if it's cloudy or rainy, and take a few deep breaths. And of course, get moving. Getting some light exercise will get the heart rate up and your blood flowing. It will get clean, fresh oxygen into your lungs and alert your body that sleep is over and that you're up and at 'em. Going to bed hungry can disrupt your sleep. Your body, though needing less fuel when you're asleep, is still burning fuel. If you eat too early or not enough, hunger can wake you up from a sound sleep. As well, there are foods that can actually make you sleepy. It can be helpful to have a snack as part of your bedtime routine with foods that are high in tryptophan, as it aids in falling asleep. You may have heard about tryptophan. It's the natural sedative found in turkey, which most of us associate with Thanksgiving Day drowsiness. Tryptophan helps the body make serotonin. Serotonin is a neurotransmitter that naturally causes feelings of relaxation and sleepiness. Pairing a source of tryptophan with a carbohydrate-rich food makes the effects all the more powerful. Examples of foods with tryptophan include a turkey sandwich, a glass of milk, yogurt, crackers or toast and peanut butter, peanuts or sunflower seeds, and broccoli. Carbohydrates help rid the body of amino acids that compete with the tryptophan, allowing more of the sedative to enter the brain, helping you fall asleep and stay asleep. Be careful to avoid foods that may upset your stomach or cause indigestion. You also want to be mindful to keep the snack small enough so that you're not kept awake from uncomfortable or full sensations. Remember, avoid excessive sugar and anything with caffeine. Be sure to check the labels. Some decaffeinated products still have a fair amount of caffeine. In spite of your best efforts, there may be a number of barriers and obstacles to getting a good night's sleep. Let's take a look at a few of them. Snoring is a very common problem and can be caused by a number of issues. Sometimes changing sleeping positions or weight loss can help alleviate snoring. If your snoring has begun to hinder your sleep, or if someone has told you that you snore loudly and often, you should make an appointment with your doctor to determine the causes of your snoring. If your veteran loved one's snoring is interfering with your sleep, you might try changing sleeping positions or elevating the head of the bed. If it is practical for you to do so, you might consider soft foam earplugs to muffle or dampen the sound of your partner's snoring. In addition, a white noise machine, which is a device that makes a steady stream of soft noise, or a fan running may help dampen the sound of snoring. Just as with your own, if your veteran loved one's snoring is excessively loud, or if it appears that they may stop breathing for a moment or two, this could be a symptom of sleep apnea, and you should consult with the veteran's primary care provider to have them assessed for this condition. Many people associate alcohol with relaxation, and sometimes then think that this will help them sleep when they are tense or stressed. While alcohol may seem like it helps you fall asleep, your body has a hard time breaking down or digesting alcohol. This can make it harder to stay asleep during the night and to get the restorative deep sleep that you need. There is very little benefit to falling asleep if you end up getting restless, broken sleep, and wake feeling tired and fatigued. In addition, relying on alcohol to relax or fall asleep can lead to greater problems. Alcohol can amplify or nullify the effects of prescription medications. Alcohol is a depressant. If you're currently managing symptoms of depression or other mental health issues, alcohol use is strongly discouraged. Alcohol is not good for persons with diabetes or heart conditions, and alcohol use can be habit-forming. If you or your veteran loved one are using alcohol as a means to help you fall asleep, it is important to talk with your doctor about safer alternatives. Much like alcohol, some people associate recreational drug use or prescription drug use, referring to use other than who or what symptom it was prescribed for, with relaxation, and sometimes then think that this will help them sleep when they are tense or stressed. While certain drugs may have you feeling numb or relaxed, or even euphoric, your sleep will be more fragmented, and thus you'll be unable to fall into the needed restorative deep sleep. Again, there is very little benefit to falling asleep if you end up getting restless, broken sleep, and wake feeling tired and fatigued. In addition, relying on substances to relax or fall asleep can lead to greater problems. Drugs can amplify or nullify the effects of prescription medications. Illegal drugs are not regulated. You can never be certain of the potency of what you're taking, or even if it is what you think it is. Prescription drugs taken outside of the parameters of their prescription can be dangerous and even fatal. Combining some drugs with alcohol can also be deadly. If you are currently managing symptoms of anxiety, depression, or other mental health issues, illegal drug use is strongly discouraged. Illegal drugs are not good for you. They can exacerbate existing health problems, they are dangerous and unpredictable, and they are illegal and can result in jail time. Drug use can be habit-forming. If you or your veteran loved one are using illicit drugs or medications for other than what they're prescribed for, as a means to help you fall asleep, it is important to talk with your doctor about safer alternatives. Our own thoughts can be the biggest culprits when it comes to sleep disruption. You may be thinking about all that needs to be done. Perhaps you're worrying about your veteran loved one. Sometimes you may find that your body is physically exhausted, but you simply can't turn off your mind. To make matters worse, there are times when we're trying to fall asleep that thoughts then turn to frustration in our ability to turn off our minds. It becomes a vicious cycle, and before you know it, it's 4 in the morning and you still have not fallen asleep. There are a few things you can do when this happens that may help quiet the mind and get you to fall asleep. Being in a caregiving role itself is a challenge to falling and staying asleep. There are many aspects of being a caregiver that can disrupt your sleep. Some caregivers report that their sleep is disrupted by their veteran. Perhaps the veteran you are caring for stays up at night and sleeps during the day. Perhaps they have symptoms at night that keep you awake, or perhaps they are at risk of wandering. Talk with your veteran about your sleep and the importance of getting a good night's sleep. Perhaps their sleep is disrupted by symptoms, and they may benefit from joining you in making some lifestyle adjustments or trying some strategies to help them get on a regular sleep schedule. It is possible that they are unaware that their actions are disrupting your sleep. Refer to your iHigh5s workbook and practice some of those clear communication skills to talk about sleep and what you need with your veteran. In some cases, your sleep may be disrupted by your veteran because he or she may wander in the night. There are several low-cost alarms and indicators to alert you if or when your veteran gets up in the night. They range from the very simple to the very complex and can be customized to meet your needs. It may also be good to talk with the veteran's primary care provider about your veteran's wandering to see if there are any medication changes or suggestions that the provider may have to reduce or even eliminate the nighttime wandering. Start with trying to fall asleep on your own. Follow your nighttime routine. Maintain a sleeping space that is low stimuli, comfortable and relaxing, and give yourself about 30 minutes to fall asleep. However, if you find that you're lying in bed and you can't turn off your mind, if it feels as if your thoughts have turned towards frustration in your inability to fall asleep, if you find yourself staring at the clock, feeling frustrated and resentful that you're not getting to sleep, or even if you're experiencing thoughts of panic or anxiety, thinking about how tired you're going to be in the morning if you just don't get to sleep, well, these thoughts will keep you up all night long if you let them. So if after about 30 minutes you are not naturally asleep on your own, and you find that your mind is racing and you can't settle down, try a relaxation strategy. You can refer to your iHigh5s workbook for a reminder about the triangle breathing or creative visualization. These are some of the self-guided relaxation exercises that serve the function of giving your brain a tiny task, like counting your breathing or creating a soothing image which disrupts the pattern of worry thoughts. You engage in deep, rhythmic breathing, which basically relaxes the body. Before you know it, you're asleep. You can't get much more relaxed than that. You may also consider a relaxation CD with soothing sounds like rain or wind, or soft piano or flute music. You can find these for purchase online at Amazon. You can access free clips on YouTube. Experiment with what you find most relaxing. And remember, though, that an important part of this step involves giving your brain a tiny task other than worry, a task that is mundane and won't keep you up, counting in serial threes, counting your breath, etc. Most importantly, be patient and gentle with yourself. You will get through this. Again, give yourself about 30 minutes to fall asleep when using a strategy. If you find that you're still unable to quiet the mind, get up and get out of bed. I know it may seem counterintuitive to get up and out of bed when you're trying to get to sleep, but lying there tossing and turning with a racing mind is not going to get you sleep anyway. In addition, if you're unable to fall asleep, you may start to turn your frustration to the strategy itself. Try not to do that. Nothing is 100% effective 100% of the time. Just because it didn't work tonight does not mean it won't work tomorrow night. So get up, get out of bed, and go into another room. However, you should resist the urge to be productive and get things done. Now is not the time to tackle the dishes or pay the bills. As well, it's not the time to catch up on episodes of your favorite mystery or drama TV program. Don't pick up a book that you've had a hard time putting down. And most important, stay off the computer. Instead, find something mindless, even boring, to watch on TV or to read. Don't set any timers, don't watch the clock. Just get into a comfortable position and read or watch something boring and low stimulation. I have joked that reading your dishwasher's owner manual might do the trick. Read or watch until you feel sleepy. Then get up and head directly back to bed and try again. If you do opt to watch TV, be sure to sit several feet from the TV so that the light does not confuse your mind and make you more alert. This includes tablets and phones that require you to hold them close to your face in order to see. One thing we suggest for the racing mind is to make to-do lists during the day. Oftentimes, our minds race because we're afraid we're forgetting to do something. Having a list reminds the mind that things are being taken care of. If the list is long or complicated, it might be helpful to add action plans or steps that you will be taking to address everything that's on that list. If you're awoken by thoughts of tasks that need to be completed, jot them down on your list and mentally assure yourself that you'll take care of it during waking hours. This will reduce the likelihood of being kept awake by racing thoughts of what needs to be done. If the thoughts are racing with noise, not necessarily things that need to be done, rather things that we've said or feelings that we have, try and quiet the mind by gently giving it a tiny task. Refer to the relaxation strategies in your iHigh5's workbook. Oftentimes, these strategies involve combining something that will relax the body with breathing or stretching, and gently focusing the mind on a small task, like counting. It's hard to obsess over this or that when your brain is occupied with something bland, like counting in serial threes. Not being able to fall or stay asleep is frustrating and can impact all areas of your life. Try making some health and lifestyle changes and give the strategies a little time to work. If these strategies do not work and you continue to have trouble sleeping, you may want to talk with your doctor or primary care provider. Be sure to prepare a list for yourself to share with your provider. Remember, you are tired from lack of sleep. You may feel rushed in the appointment. A brief note or list can help you clearly explain what is going on in your life. It will help you explain what you've tried in an effort to fall asleep, and most important, it will help your provider understand more clearly exactly what's going on with you. Remember, there are a lot of different strategies for improving your sleep, including many approaches that don't require prescription medications. For example, cognitive behavioral therapy, which uses some of the same strategies we've discussed today and can help you identify healthy and helpful habits to improving your sleep. Thank you for taking the time to view this presentation. If you have any questions or are in need of some resources, please reach out to your local Caregiver Support Coordinator or call the National Caregiver Support Line at 1-855-260-3274. Be kind to you and take good care.